Hey everybody, I wanted to make a video about an artist named Ricky Nelson. And for this video, I decided to switch it up in my room here and go from a different angle, and I'm using my iPhone this time to film, so hopefully it's a little bit better quality and better lighting. So here we go. These are my 4 favorite Ricky Nelson albums, and if you haven't heard of Ricky Nelson, do a Google search on him. He is a really interesting guy. And he got his start on the TV show The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, which featured his real mom and dad and his brother. And he started singing on that show, and he started recording actual albums. And some of those albums I really love a whole lot. And my dad is actually the person that got me interested in Ricky Nelson. And besides just Ricky Nelson being a fantastic singer, he had an amazing band. And the band is what really attracted me, especially the guitar player, James Burton. James Burton is just, he is in my all-time top 5 guitar players of all time. I study him constantly, and he's just such an amazing guitar player. He went on to go and play with Elvis Presley during the Vegas years. And then also in Ricky Nelson's band was a bass player named Joe Osborne, who also was a huge influence on me. And Joe Osborne went on to play in the Wrecking Crew in LA, and he played on like the Mamas and the Papas, Simon & Garfunkel, The Fifth Dimension, a lot of just amazing bands. He played the bass for them. So, without further ado, these are 4 of my favorite albums, and I'll go in from my least to best. All these is my top 4, so it's really my top 4 favorites. So, first one here is an album called Rudy the Fifth. And this is Ricky Nelson's country rock phase, and it's just such a cool album. He does a bunch of really cool covers of Bob Dylan's song. He does Just Like a Woman, which is amazing. He also does Love Minus Zero, No Limit, and those 2 songs are the highlight of this album for me. But the original songs are great as well. He has a song called This Train, which is the album opener, which is really great. The Last Time Around is a cool song. Song for Kristen is really great as well. And he also has a cover of Rolling Stones song, Honky Tonk Woman. So it's just a really solid album, and it's really him emerging as almost like the second phase of his career as his country rock artist. So Rudy the Fifth is an album I really like a whole lot. Next up is a classic Ricky album. This one's called For Your Sweet Love. And again, this album features Joe Osborne on bass and James Burton on guitar. Rudy the Fifth didn't feature James Burton and Joe Osborne. That was a completely different band that Ricky put together. But this classic period of Ricky's, which I'll say like the late 50s, early 60s, had that core band of James Burton on guitar and Joe Osborne on bass. I don't really know who the drummer was. Whoever it was is very good. But anyway, this album is really great. It has a song on here called String Along, which I think is an amazing tune. Has an amazing James Burton guitar solo. It also has a song on here called I Will Follow You, which is that kind of, I don't know, that song was covered by everyone, it seems like, but I like Ricky Nelson's version a whole lot. The way he sings it, it's so effortless and just really good. This is a really solid album, and just one of my favorites. Okay, next. This album belonged to my dad. This very copy here. So it's got tape on the top and the sides here. This is called Ricky Nelson, The Very Thought of You. This album was a huge influence on me. Every single song on here is fantastic. My Old Flame is that old 1930s song, I think, but they do it in like a rock and roll style, which is great. All these songs, I can't, every single song in here is so good. One of my favorite songs in here is I'll Get You Yet, which is side 2, first cut. And then a song called Dinah, which is the album closer. It's just like very like moody, kind of Ray Charles type piano song that just really is a great track. So if you haven't heard this album, check it out, The Very Thought of You by Ricky Nelson. On to my favorite Ricky Nelson album. This one's called Rick Nelson Sings for You. And there's a reason this is my favorite album. It has one of my favorite Ricky Nelson songs on here called Fools Rush In, which is a cover, of course. And the guitar solo by James Burton on Fools Rush In is the best guitar solo I've ever heard in my whole life. It's so melodic. It's just perfect. Go listen to it right now. I've learned that guitar solo note for note, and I've been playing it every day of my life just because I love it so much and I want to get it perfect. It's just so great, and it's on this album. In addition to that, this album has just tons of songs that are really, really great. A standout one for me is a song called Down Home, which is really cool. It has a big orchestra on it, and it's written by Jerry Goffin and Carole King, so can't go wrong there. What else? Let's see. Bunch of good songs on here. You're Free to Go is great. I Rise, I Fall is a great song. And again, this features James Burton on guitar and Joe Osborne on bass. And a lot of string arrangements by Jimmy Haskell, who was a pretty famous arranger in the 60s. So yeah, this Ricky Nelson album, if you get any Ricky Nelson album, I recommend picking up this album, Ricky Sings For You. It's just so great. And like I said, I can't say enough about how great an artist Ricky Nelson is. And really, if you don't want to get any albums, just get a greatest hits, because he really did have some amazing songs. Like Travelin' Man is a fantastic song that's not on any of the albums I just showed you. It's Up to You is a great song, again, not on any of these albums. Of course, Lonesome Town, a fantastic song. And he's just a great artist that I think is kind of overlooked in the, I don't know, in the sense of an early rock and roll pioneer. So that's my video for Ricky Nelson. So get some Ricky Nelson into your collection as soon as possible. Cool. Let me know what you guys think about Ricky Nelson. I'd love to hear your comments. Okay, bye.